Hey everybody, I'm Jason Hardy with Elite Barbecue Smokers and this is Barbecue Roundtable. We got a great group of guests lined up tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hope y'all tune in. Ask all questions you got, but do me a favor: like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share this page with your friends and family. We appreciate it. So let's bring our guests on here tonight and let's get this party started. Maybe I can talk in a little while. Mark, up there, you top right corner. Introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? Mark Wetherell. Team name is Maya Jane Barbecue. I am from Evans, Georgia, which is right outside Augusta. And let's see, we've been cooking really since about 2018, 2019. And yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man. Congratulations past weekend. We'll get that in a little while.
Thanks.
All right, Kenny, y'all down at the bottom, introduce yourselves.
Kenny O'Shields and my wife, Melanie. Eyed Pig BBQ from Union, South Carolina. Been cooking since cooked our first competition December 2019. And I think I said Union, South Carolina. Good deal.
Cool. That's awesome. So before we get into the story about this past weekend here, I want to kind of get a backstory on there. And one of the backstories I really like to ask a question is kind of where did the passion for barbecue start? Where did y'all kind of get the itch to do it? Did you grow up hunting and fishing like I did and cooking it around the hunting club? Or kind of what was the story of how y'all kind of started cooking and actually moved over into this?
Who wants to go? Kenny, you want to go first?
I'll go. Well, I started out when I was really young, probably 12, 13. My best friend's family owned a little hash and barbecue house that cooked whole hogs on the weekends and stuff and sold to the public like Friday and Saturday and then holidays. So me and my buddy, we was the firemen. We would throw the coals under the pig and just all night, doing that. And it just got in my blood, and I just kept doing it around the house, family reunions, weddings, just friends, never charged for it, just loved to do it. And then Melanie, she came from North Carolina, so we got a whole lot different taste in barbecue. So I'm more of a mustard vinegar, and she's more of a vinegar pepper, but and we cook stuff we don't even eat. But yep, that's how I got started.
That's one of the curses of competition barbecue. We're cooking for judges, not for us.
That's right.
I've said this before. Whenever I'm actually going to quit, my last contest I've got, I'm going to turn in some crazy food. I'm going to turn in fried chicken. I'm going to take a cast iron skillet and I'm going to pan fry some chicken. I'm turning in some double bone ribs. I want no spare ribs with 2 bones on it. It's going to be legal. I'm going to turn 2 bones in. I'm turning in, this is out from Luke Darnell, I'm turning in 6 whole money muscles. I'm going to pay somebody to film it in the judge's booth. And then brisket, I'm going to do a brisket I want to get. I'm going to take a prime brisket and cook it with salt and pepper, and I'm going to cut it right through the point and the flat. So I got a real nice fatty slice. I'm going to put them in a box, and I'm going to just be like, that's me. That's what I want to eat. That's what I'm turning in.
That's it. There you go.
That's what we got.
That's pretty cool.
How about you, Mark?
Well, not as exciting as Kenny, but I guess, I grew up in Colorado. So I lived about 23, 24 years out there. My dad, we all cooked a lot as a family, but like nothing like this. I mean, he'd, occasionally do a kind of a brisket flat, low and slow on the Weber kettle, just throwing wood chips on. And, and that, I guess that kind of got me a little interested, but honestly, really, I don't know. I'm just trying to think. I think, rented a house with a bunch of guys, after college and just, we're all kind of starting our careers and stuff. And, we had gas grills, and I was kind of the guy, always like cooking steaks and cooking, whole chickens and just kind of doing stuff like that. I don't even think I owned a smoker until, Maya was born in 2006. So 2006, I bought one of those red electric Brinkman smokers, and we lived in a 900 square foot apartment box in Denver. And so one of those things, you plug in, all the lights just like dim and all that stuff. And I think my buddy got one, and he was cooking something. I was like, this is horrible. I got to be do something better than that. And so yeah, I guess kind of started with that, and just kind of messed around with that, and really, I couldn't have any live fire because we lived like on a third floor apartment. And then, not to go on and on, but we moved out here in about 2009 to Georgia, and then from there, I kind of just graduated, went to like a propane smoker, then a little like bullet charcoal smoker, and just I don't know, just fell in love with cooking pork. I thought pork butts. I still love cooking pork, and it just for a reason I just like the process and the science and how it all just cooks, and that's really kind of my background. Just sort of just a backyard barbecue guy, and just started, I don't want to say getting bored, but just decided to kind of just push myself and just, just try this competition thing, like with Pitmasters, everybody's seen Pitmasters. I can't remember that was 2012, 13 or something like that. And so from there, it's like, oh yeah, it may be kind of fun. And we had some local, like unsanctioned backyard contests around our town, and, did that a few times and had some success. And that's kind of really my story.
Barbecue Pitmasters did bring a lot of people, competition barbecue to the forefront with a lot of people. A lot of people didn't know about it until they seen the show. And then they would take that and kind of come out there and see what it was and then really get into it. So Barbecue Pitmasters really, truly that. I think 9/11, after 9/11, everybody wanted to get out and be as a group, be as a family. And I think that's kind of what just took it, and people found the people in barbecue. And kind of leads into the second question in this, which is that what has surprised y'all most about a competition barbecue that you did not expect it going into it? Because if you're like me, everybody went into it with the idea, okay, I'm going to come out here and compete in barbecue. And I'm going to come out here and do what I got to do and win barbecue and go from there. And you get into it and you're like, this is a whole different world for me. So what kind of surprised y'all most about it? Mark, you go first.
I just like, we were chatting before. I mean, just the people you meet. I've had started, and I guess the other thing, living in Evans, Banjo, east of the Mississippi, and it's like 2 miles from my house. So I used to drive past that like all the time. I was like, God, man, maybe one day kind of got me thinking more and more like, I really want to, try this thing out. But I guess, I don't know. When I started, like nobody really knew who I was. I just sort of who's this guy pulling up in a landscaping trailer and, a couple of weird looking 270 cabinet cookers. And, I don't know. But at the time, like I've been practicing and just thinking like, I can maybe be competitive. But then, but just talking with everybody and just say, hey, I think one of the first people I met was Clower with, Bald Hog. And I pulled up next to him at Boss Hog, and I didn't have like a 100-foot power cable. And so extension cord. So he hooked me up, and just little things like that. It's like, you tell people, hey, I'm new, I'm not sure what I'm doing. And, they'll, they help you out. And so I just thought that was really cool. And I'm trying to pass that on to new cooks that I meet and everything as well. But I just, got a lot of really good friendships and, meeting some new people, because, everybody's friends with everybody on Facebook, but finally get to meet some of these people, in person. And it's really awesome. It's just a good community.
I agree with that. How about you, Kenny? How about y'all, I should say?
I would say the relationships we built, the willingness to help, people helping you, like Mark said, I'm new. Hey, I tell you, my first competition was in Union, and I parked beside the Hog Mafia in South Carolina Barbecue, and they were gunning for Team of the Year or something in South Carolina. Well, they brought a ringer in to do their ribs, which was Jim Berg. And I didn't know who Jim Berg was, and little did I know that he was a world champion. I mean, so we was over there talking, and I said, this is my first one ever. And he said, well, how you trim your butt? And I said, well, I ain't trimmed it. And he said, well, you got to turn a money muscle in. I said, well, I know what a money muscle is, but I'm not sure if I can trim it out, So he said, come on, son. So he took me in there, and what you get like 8 butts in South Carolina. He trimmed about 4 while I watched him. And I mean, he was just like it was second nature to him. And I was just in awe. I said, man, still didn't know who he was. I mean, but so that just stands out to me. And then, after they went on, and he actually won the ribs that day. And somebody, and I was got to talking to him, and Josh said, "Man, that guy won a world championship back in 2013 or something, Sam's World Championship." And I said, "Man, I had no idea." But I mean, he was willing to help me, and that was awesome. And it's always been that way. I mean, just meeting anybody just about that I've met has been great, and I've met friends that I talk to every day right now that I've met out there on the barbecue circuit, and we got that in common. Not my old friends, the ones I used to play softball with or hunt and fish with, they don't care nothing about that. So I mean, you got to have somebody to bounce it off of, and we all got our little circles and groups that we bounce stuff off each other. And I mean, Melanie, she does too. She's got people she talks to about dessert or whatever. But yeah, that surprised me the most, how close we would get to some of the folks we had met.
Got Brian here saying he knows who you are, Mark. But I have really truly found probably the friends I had growing up, the friends I had in college, the friends I had hunting and fishing. Like you said, it's a totally different focus. They've got their little world, and I hunt and fish. We can relate to what we're doing with that. But when I got into barbecue and started getting to know the people in barbecue, on Competition BBQ and now through the YouTube community, it's eye-opening of how this one thing that we have is such a passion that everybody can just talk about it and share information about it and go, and it's just brings people together so much. And I've said this before, and somebody asked me the question, like, why do you like cooking? I said, well, the truth of the matter is I'm in construction, been a project manager, so I've had to tell people no and all that stuff. But the thing about barbecue is 99.9% of the time I give them a plate of food, they're going to smile and be happy. Mm-hmm. That's just the truth about it. And I give them barbecue, give them food, they're going to be happy about it. And I know I can just not have to worry about upsetting apple cart in that sense. Now, we do competition, and it's an expensive hobby, but I'm not sure how we get this kind of A personalities in the same group and just hang out every weekend together. That's what Thursday night's for, Competition BBQ. So if anybody out there is watching, you're getting barbecue, show up Thursday nights, and you'll enjoy it and have a good time, because we did this past weekend. We had a really good time this past weekend up there. We had a really good time. It was a lot of fun, and it's great. So that was it. It's just it's insane. So what was y'all? I mean, Mark said earlier about his first cooker and stuff. Here, what was your first cooker? I know you said you were shoving coals, old school, but what was your first actual cooker?
Well, my first cooker was a homemade offset. It was just sitting on a stand, and it's just a stick burner. You just threw it to it, and what it was just made out of an old propane tank and an old wood stove just attached to the back of it. And then later on, I made a reverse flow out of it, changed it around because that reverse flows were cool and all that stuff, Lane made all that. But we was just doing that stuff in the backyard then. But that was my very first cooker. And then I cooked with that, actually, my first contest. And then I ran across a patio outlaw, which before outlaws were real popular. I said that was the best looking small offset I've ever seen. I mean, it was just so like neat looking and on wheels and all that stuff. So I ended up getting a pretty good deal on one used, and cooked on that until I switched to drums.
So your story reminds me of Jordan with Janky Leg. He said his first smoker he had was something he tried to make work, and he finally ended up getting another smoker that worked. He said he had one of the homemade rigs that was having a lot of fun with that.
I mean, we was bringing a truckload of wood to the competition. I mean, it's just nothing efficient about it. And I spent all my time throwing wood instead of I was too tired to worry about boxing, but yeah, that was fun though.
So we done that same thing with building a homemade stick burner when we first got in competition barbecue. I had this propane tank turner into stick burners, and so it was a reverse flow. But we're out there doing the competition. This was at a local church. It's kind of for a charity, and it was January, and it was cold, and it was raining, it was sleeting, and I'm sitting there, and I had a half truck full of wood, and we getting through the wood because going low and slow all night long, and I run out of wood. And I had to go find some wood to come in there and burn it. Luckily everything was wrapped, so I was throwing anything I can put in there just to keep the fire hot. And I told the guy, my buddy of mine cooking with me at the time, got through it. I said, "This is the last time I'll ever do a competition without an insulated firebox smoker. It ain't happening again. I ain't doing this." Because I mean, it was just like you put wood to it, it go up, and you turn around and look, and it go down. It was up and down, up and down. I was sitting there about to drive myself crazy. Pusho here is telling Mark you're looking too serious here.
Trying to get him.
We got a fan base out here. But so the families, atmospheres we had in barbecue that we've met through here has been kind of one of the things that really surprised us the most about this. How about the traveling side of it? When you go on these different towns and stuff here, the meeting the people and stuff, what's that surprised y'all? What are some stories you take away from that?
You talking about just like going to random contests and people, just the public coming up to you, or
like small town USA. I mean,
yeah,
it's like Greenwood. Greenwood's a beautiful contest.
Sure. Yeah, and I mean, sorry, but yeah, because I mean, being in Colorado, it's like I was in a big city, so people can get annoying. But like out here in Georgia, there's a lot of small towns. There's Evans is still kind of a small town, but heck, we were in Lake City a couple weeks ago, and then where was Swamp Fest, Waycross, a week before that. Yeah. And it's just fun. And it's just people come up to you, and I had a guy come up to me and said, "Hey, I'm going to do a backyard competition next month. So I got a couple of Recteqs, can you help me out?" And this is, I think it was Friday. So I was setting up, so I chatted with him for about, 30 minutes or so and kind of gave him some pointers and just, said, look me up on Instagram or Facebook, send me a message, I'll help you out. But it is just kind of cool. You get a lot of people that come up and say, what are these things? And, I have Hunsaker drums, and a lot of people don't, the average Joe who doesn't barbecue has, they're just dumbfounded when they see like a 55-gallon barrel drum smoker. And so you kind of, walk them through the process and everything like that. And it's just kind of neat. So you just get a bunch of like random people, and, and just, I try to spread the love a little bit as much as I can. And I'm excited. I love talking about barbecue to anybody. So, but yeah, that's pretty neat.
It was kind of funny talking about Waycross with drums. So where I was set up at Waycross, I was like me and Kurt Mueller was the last ones before you got into the public, where all the public was at. And so everybody been walking through all of these competition guys, and everybody using, probably a large percentage of them using cans. So get in my spot, and I'm the last one, and I'm out there cooking outside on my little trailer. And so I'm constantly just explaining what a drum is. I mean, it's like every 20 minutes, I'm having to tell this spiel about what a drum smoker is again. And it was fun. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of fun, but it's definitely, I'm used to cooking on my trailer in my camper. And so cooking outside is a little bit different because it's a little more inviting. And I love that aspect of it. And I love being able to kind of get people to come out here and talk to us and share stories about it. But it is kind of funny just because we take for granted a 55-gallon drum smoker, and it's not for granted. I mean, most people don't think about that.
Yeah, this weekend we had a great little story. We were at an airport up there, and Jason, it was big old airport, jets, and I mean just small jets and everything. So me and Adam Dawkins, we get up early on Friday morning anyway, and we always go to breakfast. And we went up to a little place called Biscuitville, good little biscuits. And we had our Atlanta barbecue sweatshirts on because it was kind of cool. Well, there was a guy and his wife in there, and they kept looking at us, and like, I thought they might knew us or something, or thought they knew us. But anyway, and he said, "Hey, can I ask you what's Atlanta barbecue store?" And I said, "Well, actually, it's an online barbecue store, and you can get anything there." And You know, yeah, and so anyway, one thing led to another, and we told him we was at the airport and we was doing a festival that weekend, and he ought to come out. Him and his wife is gonna have a band, and I mean, just small talk, just back and forth. And he said, "Well, I got a little plane. Said I might fly over there." And I said, "You're kidding?" He said, "No, man. Heck, Saturday he shows up, flies in, him and his wife. We out there, uh, serving people's choice. They walk up and says, 'Hey, man, I said, you remember me?' I said, 'Yeah.' He said, 'We flew over here.' I said, 'That's crazy,' but." Yeah, so I mean, it's just stuff like that, It's just good times all the time. People come up and want to know what that trash can. What you do with that trash can? And it's. I said, well, we hope there ain't no trash coming out of it, but anyway, good times, small times.
Speaking about this past weekend, so we were at a contest up here in Pinehurst, North Carolina. And we'll talk about this a little more in a minute. But we were at Pinehurst, North Carolina doing a contest there, and they had it inside the airport. And so here's the funny part about it. We got these rigs parked up here on the tarmac in the airport. All right. And these planes are flying in. And I learned one thing about airplanes this weekend. The smallest one you think is still $1 million plane.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that's the smallest plane you think it is. It's still $1 million plane. But there's some of these out here that are international jets, and it's like 50, 60, $70 million planes. So I would love to be in somebody's head when they go to land this plane, and they land the plane and go park it in tarmac, and they see all these campers over here, all these guys sitting here with barbecue going on in the middle of a tarmac, and they pull in the airport to go play golf. I mean, that had to be just like, what in the world is going on here?
Where do we go? Where do we land?
That had to be absolutely crazy. That was nuts, but it was a lot of fun. Man, y'all left out there Saturday. Boy, I tell you what, that storm came through there Saturday night. I thought I'd blow the camper over for a little while there.
Ooh, I'm glad we missed that.
It was crazy. Real quick here, what we got here in the middle of it. Everybody, if you haven't noticed yet, we got a YouTube channel. We just posted a video this past week, the chicken legs. So if you're interested in kind of seeing some different techniques, check out the YouTube channel. The link's in the comments up top. But check that out for me. I appreciate it. So question for y'all. So this past weekend right now, y'all was able to come out there and win a contest. Kenny, now my understanding this is y'all first GC.
Yes.
As One-Eyed Pig.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We won I cooked with Josh. Me, Josh, and Alan went out to Whistle Stop and won one when he was sick. And we won Whistle Stop out there. That's how we got the jack draw last year. But as far as One-Eyed Pig and us making all the calls, yeah, this is our first one. Okay. All because of Atlanta barbecue classes. I'll say that.
I agree.
Absolutely. A very good class, great information there. And I think pretty much everybody that was in that class this weekend done good across the board. From my understanding correctly, everybody done good across the board from stuff in that class. It was definitely a good class with a lot of information onto it. They got one coming up later in the year or next year. He puts on all the money goes to charity. So it's an awesome class with an awesome, a good purpose for it. And the information they shared as classes is something that you definitely want to check out. So I would totally agree with that.
It was a great class, and that was the first class I've ever taken. So, I mean, that was, it was nice to kind of just get a refresher on some things, just maybe some confirmation on some things, and just, pick up some tips and techniques and stuff. So it's, definitely applied to some of it for sure, and it's helped, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say about the classes. One of the things about classes is that, and anybody that's taken class can probably understand this. If you haven't taken class, I hope this can kind of help out a little bit. You've got two ways of doing something other. You can be a pioneer. You can go out there and be a bushwhacker and just make your path to go at it. And that's a great system, and you can do that. Or you can be somebody that says, okay, well, I know this path is working. This path will get me there. So let me go here and see at least what path they are. I can take it and make it my own, but if I do this way here's to take you 5 years, and it'll be a lot of headaches. It's going to really, truly drive you crazy. this way right here is going to be a little bit easier. The knowledge you pick up from class will save you a ton of headache and a ton of money down the line. And that's my opinion. So would y'all agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's with the barbecue league and the amount of classes out there. I mean, just don't go to a contest one week and go to a class. I mean, it's about the same money, and you'll get a year, 2 years worth of information just off of that one class. Atlanta Barbecue Store, I mean, we see 4 world-class cooks cook different meats. So you're not going to a class where everybody's cooking the same meat, or the same recipes, like one cook cooking everything. You're seeing Smoke Me Silly do brisket, Adam Dawkins do pork, Bill Hine do ribs, Rooters and Tooters doing chicken. I mean, it's just, you're not going to get that anywhere else.
And off the chain done pork loin food.
And off the chain did pork loin. And
yeah, that was pretty cool. And I guess I should say, I mean, I did take in 2018, 2019, I did do the GBC classes. So that really, that really opened my eyes to comp cooking. I won Boss Hog in 18, and I still, I know I got lucky to this day, but I still went and took that class the next month because I was just like, there's some things. I think we did banjo a couple weeks later, and yeah, we had a good pork call, but it got hammered and everything else. So I was like, all right, something's just, wanted the same result, and it didn't happen, obviously. So we went and took that class, and that really kind of helped me out too. And that was very affordable for somebody like me, just kind of getting started into it. And same thing, a lot of 4 different pit masters teaching the categories they won in, I guess, the previous year. So that was something that really helped me out a lot. And then I went back and did that again in 19. And then I guess, I did Brian's class this past, a few months ago and stuff. And I don't know, it's a good refresher, and I'm glad I did it because I think I lost my way a little bit last year. So I kind of struggled a little bit last year, and I just knew, it's probably time. Maybe I was being a little bit stubborn and kind of saying, I kind of like what I'm doing and still getting some good scores, getting some good results and all that stuff. But I just think it was time to kind of just, say, hey, let's go just, see what some of these other world-class cooks are doing, and, stop being stubborn and just, go learn. It's a learning game, constantly learning.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say about the Atlanta Barbecue Store class and also GBC, but more Atlanta Barbecue Store class is I really appreciated just there and hearing the guys that were teaching the class, the question they were asking the other people teaching the class.
Right.
To me, just that part of it was just like, it was really helpful to understand what questions they were asking on there. That kind of just was like, never thought about that question. Never thought about that. So, I mean, it was a great situation and an awesome class, and I would definitely do that. But getting back to your GC this past weekend. So you were down there at Pinehurst this weekend and you won your contest. Yep. So not trying to get recipes, but give us to kind of walk us through, did you have a good cook? I mean, kind of your confidence level going into it, or what your thoughts process was on that?
Well, we had a good cook in Apex, and we got 3 calls in Apex, finished 4th overall. So we had some confidence coming in. We felt like what we were doing was working. So when we got to Pinehurst, we always have 2 cooks in the back of the trailer. I think they're awesome, and she thinks they're terrible. So I have different names I call her in the back. So she's Melanie now. She's Nancy when she's negative, and she's Priscilla when she wants perfection. And I'm trying to get the box out of the trailer.
Yeah.
So just back and forth. Oh, the Damien, we had to have holy water sprinkled in the back of the trailer this weekend after that, but she refused to put my pork in au jus. I'm not putting it in that grease, I said. So, but anyway, We have a good time back there. I thought we closed 4 good lids, to be honest with you.
After looking back at the pictures, yes, they were good. I wasn't happy when I walked out initially.
So I got, she always prepares me before we go to awards. Now it's okay. This week we didn't cook good. That's all right. We're gonna do it, next week. So I got that speech before we went. I said, Nancy, let's just go to the awards and see what happens. But yeah, that was the way it went.
I gotta tell Michelle that because she's always like, we're never gonna do well. That's always her mind. And her mindset is, if we do better than I say we're gonna do, we can be happy. But if I expect to do this and we don't do this, I'll be disappointed. So I'm like, you gotta go in there with the confidence to do something other.
Sounds like
But
yeah.
But I will say this: if you're ever happy with what you turn in, you're gonna get killed.
I know, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, you can't say you're not happy with it, but if you ever sit there and go like, we got this, and in the bank, you're dead in the water. We change that. I am dead in the water.
Yeah. Well, Pappy and Rolly, they had a good weekend, and Steve came over to me, and I said, how'd it go? He said, well, I don't care if I finish last. I turned the best meat I could turn in today. And so
that's cool.
So that's a good way to look at it,
Yeah.
So we turned in the best we could that day, and I really didn't expect to win. We didn't. I mean, we just yeah.
Everybody needs a Frank.
Yeah. But we didn't. I mean, if we would have got a call, in that crowd, we was just hoping to get a call, and then when you get one, of course, you want another one. Then if you can get 2, maybe you can get in the top 10. I mean, it just kind of built. But I knew when we got we actually tied for first place in brisket and lost on the card. But I knew then that because we had 4 calls. I said, well, then I don't think anybody else had 4. But
no, y'all walk the dog with everybody.
That build up to it though, Melanie said, well, maybe we in the top 3 or something, and I said, well, but anyway, it was good.
I don't take winning well. Like I like to win. It's great to win, but I don't ever, it's not us that's doing it. It's the Lord. So.
Yeah.
So we but the most awesome thing, really and truly, the most awesome thing was everybody standing and us high-fiving going to the stage, and congratulating us. And, man, everybody knew that was our first one. And it was awesome. I'll never forget that as long as I live. So.
No, the first GC you win, the first one you win, that everybody comes up to you and says congratulations and shakes your hand walking up to a stage. That's one you'll never forget.
Yeah.
And even the ones previous ones after that, it is because it'll change because you get to know more people. We won our first contest at Banjo BBQ, Douglas Hunter earlier, and it was insane.
Yeah.
Just being up there and just everybody and seeing everybody. And Mark, I was with you, and you won your first one, the Boss Hog.
Yeah. Nobody knew who I was. They're like, who the hell is this guy?
And it's definitely different. Well, say the answer to this question, your GC this past weekend. From your time of winning the contest at Boss Hog and your time winning the contest this past weekend, what was the difference between the two?
It felt like, honestly, the first time. Because, I mean, I put a post out. I guess I know you all I know you liked it, so you saw it, but I'll just reiterate. But, I won after my 4th ever contest. So I had that success like early, and I didn't put any work in. I mean, I did maybe, 2 the year before and, 1 the year before that. So it's like, I was shocked like everybody else was, but it's like, okay, but then seeing, probably get emotional here, but like the last, 3 years doing this, doing 10 to 12 a year and, working our butts off. And, my mom and dad are a big part of this. And so is the family back home and Kiara and everything. But it's like, it's a lot of work, it really is. And so winning this one, I just felt like, finally, like it just felt like the first time. And but yes, with all the barbecue family there, my parents weren't able to make it up on this one, and but it was awesome, just like you said, getting those high fives. And like, I'm super happy when I see any of my friends win, and I'm want to be one of the first ones up there to get the high five and say congrats, because I'm always proud of everybody. And so it was really special to kind of get that back, and it just meant the world. And it was fun. It was a good time.
So Kenny, I know you said y'all got 4 calls. So I mean, everybody out there had y'all winning the contest. I mean, I went back and told Luke, I said, he just whipped our butts, walked up and down the road with us, and you did. Mark, I haven't seen I don't have the knowledge of the calls that y'all had, but did you felt like you had it?
I don't know. Like, I know how the scoring and all that stuff works, but sometimes you just don't know. And like, this was my 3rd cook out of the new trailer. We had a pretty good cook at Swamp Fest. So it was, I think we got like 6 overall and had, 3 top 10s. And of course, chicken's like my best category and it let me down, but I haven't had a top 10 in well over a year. So, I mean, it was kind of like, all right, cool, finally. And so I felt like, like King was saying, having a little momentum. And then we went down to Lake City and had a couple calls there, then a 12th place chicken that was still like a 170, almost a 175. And then like ribs just killed me and just killed the overall cook. But I still felt pretty good. And then with Calhoun, I just, I made a couple adjustments. I thought I was putting a little too heavy-handed on the rub on the chicken. So I don't know, it might have been affecting the bite just a little bit, and then I didn't like the color of it. So, and then been playing with some new brine, so I decided to go back to what I was normally been doing. Eased up off the rub a little bit, so color looked good. So I thought my chicken was there. When I tried it, I was like, okay, it's my chicken. It's like, it's good. Whether or not they're gonna like it, I don't know. Ribs, I was actually pretty pleased with. So I cooked, 3 racks, and it's a good feeling when you can put like 8 bones in a box. So I thought they were pretty good. Pork, I just I wasn't happy, and it was a ugly looking box. I just ran 6 money muscles right down the middle. That's all I had. It just was one of those things. I haven't been happy with my pork all year, but we've got 3 top 10s in a row. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird, but I personally haven't been happy with it. And then brisket, I thought was good. I've been struggling with brisket for a while, and that ABS class helped a lot, just confirming some things and new techniques and stuff. So I really been liking my brisket, since I guess the last few contests. And so I don't know, going to awards, it's like, okay, they call us up, and John Hale, he's awesome, doing the awards. And so it's just, he calls up everybody, random order, that type of thing. And I think we got 4th place chicken. So I was pretty pleased with that, and I was sitting next to Scott Parr the whole time, and his wife, and Choo Choo and Zips. And so we had a nice little group and stuff. And then they do ribs, so got a call for ribs. I'm like, all right. So it felt good, because I was like, I've been working hard on my ribs, and really, like, my goal going into a contest, I just want to hear my name called. I'm still thrilled, just even if we all want to win, but if I get a call against my peers and everybody who's working just as hard as I am, like, to me, like, I'll take that all day. I was very surprised when they called me up there for pork, and then even more surprised when I got like 4th place pork. I was like, holy crap. So I'm walking back, and I passed Doug, Billy, and Wade, and Billy kind of goes, well, how's your brisket? And I was like, so a little nervous at that point, but Scott at the time, he got 3rd place chicken. He had 8th place ribs, and he won pork. And so we're both sitting next to each other. I'm like, dang. And then they call up brisket, and they call me up, and not Scott, but then I ended up getting 10th in brisket. So I was like, I don't know if that's enough. I'm coming back. So I was the only one that had, 4 calls. And then they go through the whole, top 10. Like, I still didn't know, because I didn't know how high, like, or how much Scott beat me on his, his other stuff. And, they called him for RGC, and then I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. And I lost it. I ain't gonna lie. It took me about, a good minute just to kind of compose myself and get up after they called my name and stuff. And so, I mean, it's all a blur, Kenny. I don't know if it is to you, but it's just to me. It's like, I'm still like, do I remember anything? But so I guess, I didn't know, but I was, super proud of Scott and his wife, and they had a hell of a cook. And I think he ended up getting like 11th in brisket. So he was close, but I think I still got him by like a little over 2 points. But it was I don't know. You just don't know. Like, I was expecting like God, I got 4 calls and wants me to get like 3rd place or something like that somehow. I don't know. But it so yeah, it's still I still get goosebumps thinking about it, and I'm happy. I'm just ecstatic.
Yeah,
Nah, that was
actually,
awesome.
Stephen Parrish sent me a video of us sitting there when they called our name today, and then
That's
getting
awesome.
that high fiving.
Aw.
Yeah.
That was where I forgot to show it to you, but he sent me that, so that was pretty cool.
Apparently Calhoun has like no cell service up there, so I don't think anybody was able to stream awards. So kind of sucks, but so that's cool. So yeah, definitely save that video. I still have my video from Boss Hog in 18, so I'll still pull that up, and it's like it's funny, like going back and listening to that video. It's like everybody knew like we won, but us. Like I had no idea. We're just sitting there. It's like, well, I don't know. And you hear people whispering like, well, who is it? And I think Killer Bees reserved that day, and then I don't know, it's just kind of funny. So, but that's cool.
Yeah, so I still keep that video. I got the one we won Boss Hog, and I got the one we won Banjo BBQ. So we got that, and and the thing is that when we won Banjo BBQ, we didn't expect it. And I was sitting by Johnny Trigg. I've said this story before. I'm sitting by Johnny Trigg, and I don't know if we got 2 or 3 calls, and he looked at me and said, "You just won this contest." I'm sitting going like, number one, I haven't won this contest. Number 2, the Godfather Ribs is telling me I just won a dang contest. I mean, seriously. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah,
and we won the contest, and so white boys can jump. That's been proven in life. But it was just
Jason. Didn't you win brisket? Did you win brisket that contest?
Yeah.
Okay.
We won. We won. I think we got a call in ribs, pork, and brisket, and that 180 in brisket overcome the 167 in chicken. But 180, man, it can heal a lot of wounds in barbecue.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, we had our goals this year was to try to win a category. So we did that in Apex with pork. So we were real happy about that. Probably more happy about that than the 4th place overall. And then, you was there, and they called us for 10th, actually, for chicken. And then we got halfway to the stage, and it Pinehurst, and they said, "No, we made a mistake. You didn't win.
Oh no,
you didn't come in 10th." I said, "Man, I must have been 11th."
That's what I said. Somebody.
Yeah. So anyway, so we were sitting there, and then they called us for 1st in chicken, and I said, "Oh man, that
nice."
And so I guess he started at the top and come down, but. Doug Reed said, "Do you have that figured out?" I said, "To be honest with you, I thought I was 11th, and but I was okay with that." But so we actually won another category. So then to get the grand too, that was awesome.
Y'all won pork, didn't you?
Was it pork you won? Apex? No, we won chicken.
I mean, y'all know one chicken. Y'all didn't win, but one category this past weekend.
Well, we tied for 1st in brisket, but we lost on the card. So we come in 6th in pork and 10th in ribs.
Yeah.
We had 3 calls. Ribs whipped our butt. We hit. Our ribs wasn't that good, so I mean they tightened up on us. But we had 3 decent calls, but ribs really truly just put us in the ground. Which I mean, I'm not saying ground. We got 7th overall, so I mean I'm happy with that. Anytime I can get my name called, it is good. But I'll say this, and Mark, you was with us at a Union a couple years back, and we done a cook at Unions. Was sitting right beside us, and we gotten 3 really strong calls: chicken, pork, and ribs.
No, you mean brisket. Lawrence? You mean Lawrence?
Lawrence, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Union was you talking about? Yeah, with Lawrence, and we had a strong cook.
Yeah.
And didn't got a name called in brisket, and we ended up finishing very well, but we got humbled pretty quick.
Yeah.
So you never know what's gonna happen till it's over with. That's for sure. And until it's over, you don't know what's going on with that.
No, it's that's the whole thing. It's like until they call your name, it's just like, anything, just feel like anything can happen. I don't know. It's weird.
It is.
But yeah.
With the exception of dessert. Because Melanie, from what I understand down there, is like the 180 queen for desserts. Is that right?
she does good. It keeps
Every
the pounds on
contest
me.
I've been to with you guys, she wins dessert. So I've seen her win a few times.
Between her and Tanya and Renee Abbey, Joel's wife, it's just about automatic. Tanya
So,
Dawkins is good too.
Michelle we was down there at Banjo BBQ's past weekend, and Michelle got 180 in dessert. I think it finished like 5th. It was like Banjo BBQ is like 180s down the line.
Wow.
Wow.
Which is pretty crazy, but it is. So, Doug, if you're still watching, we Banjo BBQ is our favorite contest. So just if you're watching, just to let you know that.
Yeah.
I know a lot's going on with that. So what do y'all cook on now? What's your smokers you use now for competition barbecue?
So right now, currently, I go through them lately, but I'm running 2 Recteq 590s and a Hunsaker drum. So I'll roll pork on the drum. There's something about pork on the drum. It just, even for at home eating and just, for judges, I just think it works. And I've been successful with Recteq pork. I think it does well, but I just like it. I don't know. And then I'll do chicken and brisket on one 590, and I've been doing ribs on the other 590. Then I don't know. At home, I got a bunch of Weber kettles, and I got a Outlaw sitting in the garage, and some more Recteqs in the backyard. So, I'm sure Kenny's got a whole arsenal as well.
Yes, at his building.
Yeah.
So how about y'all? What y'all cooking on now?
Drums.
Yeah, this is our second contest on 4 drums. I had 3 drums and a 590, and I was cooking my ribs on the 590, and then I just kept practicing on the drum, to get comfortable, so we could just take 4 drums. But I'm comfortable cooking on that Recteq. I think it turns out good food. But the drums and offsets seems to be what's hitting right now. But you never know. Who was it? John's brother went to Lake City or where was he at?
John Wade, Jason Wade.
Trader.
Yeah, Jason Wade, from what I understand, he cooked everything on one grill.
Yeah. And it was like one pork butt, one rib, one. Like the point of a brisket didn't even turn into or something. That was it. That was pretty cool there. Now, if you, so that just shows you if you can win.
Get on a bullseye.
Oh, yeah, that's insane.
Sweet,
dude. That's
some skill right there. I got 3 bullseyes at home. They're temperamental. I love them though. They put out some good food, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. If you are doing all 4 categories on one bullseye, overnight cooking, the RGCA contest, hats off to you. That is
right.
That is serious.
Drew Davis with Razor Racks, he cooks on 1 or 2 drums or something like that. 2 drums, I think, and has cooked on 1. So, he's good too, but I don't know how they do
it. Yeah, that's I don't know. I've played around with that and I thought about doing it, but I like to have 4 of them. When I used to cook on one smoker, all right, you got one smoker, and every time you open it, you changing timeline, changing everything else in there, and it's just like you got one smoker to control the whole world. And when you go to multiple smokers, now you're like, if this fails, at least I got a backup. At least I got something's not going to totally leave me in the dust. And so going to multiple smokers is that. Now, convenience wise, one smoker is awesome. If you got it run like a pearl, like a kitten, you can do it. But still, 380 is pretty awesome.
Well, and I heard you guys lost power over the weekend, right? Up there for a little while.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, we did. We got a knock on the door at 4:00 and said that we didn't have power, which we're fortunate to have a generator built on. But
Yeah.
so there was some guy, Bob. He's amazing. He was out there dragging lines and making sure everybody had what they needed. And we had Kerry. He had an extra generator, Chastain, and Adam Dawkins had one. So, and when we all, we went to a generator so somebody could have our power, when they got it back on, because one of the generators, one of the two went out, the big generators. So, but I think everybody ended back up with power. It probably took an hour, a couple hours, but
Okay.
anybody that was running the fans and stuff, we could pull drop cords from campers and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's just kind of my fear when I heard that, because I'm running 2 590s and I do have a generator, but I don't always bring it with me, and I probably gotta get a second drum, and I'm trying to be more of a minimalist. I just don't want to have a lot of crap with me, but I think I would have been screwed if I was there with you guys, unless somebody was nice enough to give me a generator. But yeah, Derek, she's chilling watching her YouTube stuff. Actually, she's probably watching the show in the bedroom. So I got the French bulldog here snoring on my lap. So, but she's chiming in from the other room. But that's something I got to think about, though. I got to think about having a backup plan just in case, because some of these contests, I mean, for the most part, I think power's been pretty solid. There's been a few places it's just sort of iffy, and that's why I went and bought a generator. So I might have to, I don't know, plan accordingly in the future, I guess.
Yeah, and that was a first time comp too. So but I'm gonna say for a first time comp, man, it was great. I mean, it really was. They had some good people on the committee or whatever up there, because it was pretty good. We didn't feel anything that hindered us at all. I mean, we didn't. I hope nobody else did.
Now, just for clarification here, the generator Bob had could run a hospital. So
Yeah.
they did not have a small generator there that overloaded it and it caused problems. It
Right.
was, honest to God, it was a massive generator that could run a hospital. And it just had some fluke of a problem, and it didn't. And I know I got up, the power was off, so I was like, okay. But there, hit the button, crank the generator up, and I think there's 2 or 3 teams of yonder that was running plug into outlets inside the trailer. So we had a disco party going on over there. Lights and everything else was working on our side of the world. But they finally got it back to working, and it was worked fine. But yeah, it was definitely, it's stressful in situations like that when you got power goes out.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things when we used to do some of the old contests, the SCBA, which is not, they don't have set up for rigs like we use nowadays. But those times you go to these places, it can be kind of you can't take these big rigs to those places because they just don't have the power for it. But they're not set up for that. It ain't nothing against them. They're just not set up for 50 amp powers. If you want that, you bring your generator. But yeah, I would always throw a generator in the truck, Mark.
Yep.
Always throw one in the back of the truck. And what you do is you just take it whenever you need it, and you go by a team that think you're going to beat you. And you set up right by their cook's area with a muffler pointed at them, so it'll just drive them crazy. And you crank it up, and you just let it run. Yeah. And you load it up so it's going to run really loud. I'm joking.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
Everybody's had that. The worst thing is the ones they have for construction job sites. And I swear, you hear them run, you're like, that thing cannot be running. It's going to fall apart. The rattling, trapping and stuff. Yeah. You just like, it can't run. Yeah, back since, I think, Derek, I got an entry fee for that already on the books for that contest. Maybe one day I'll make it there. Oh, now this is the funniest story. So we're trying to get out of there on Saturday, not get out of there. We're trying to kind of get cleaned up. We're gonna stay Saturday night. So they come over there and some said they had to turn the water off because they had a line going across the highway, so they had to turn the water off. So they come over yonder, and Mr. Frank's here in the middle of a shower, and his water gets cut off.
Oh,
He's
no.
He's all lathered up. So he's hollering top of his lungs over there. And so he's having to take a shower with bottled water of yonder. So Frank, I just told the world about your masculinity job there. That was funny. Yeah, let's drink the water. No, what honestly, Frank, what actually happened is Joseph went in there and turned the spigot off.
Yeah.
That's what the whole thing was. You had water, he just turned it off. So it was all Joseph's situation. But no, Bob done an awesome job, and he's gonna be doing one in Sevierville, and they're bringing back.
He's so nice.
He's great. He is great.
Oh Lord, having a good time with this. So where y'all heading to next?
Boss Hog, Waynesboro, next weekend.
Yep. How about y'all?
We'll be at Jiggy this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So,
Doing a double down there.
yeah.
And then you heading up to Sevierville.
Yep.
Is that correct?
That's right. Take a week or so, weekend off, I think. But yeah. We're gonna head up to Sevierville and vacation a little while.
Well, we're gonna be there in Nashville. Claire and Michelle's wanting to make sure you show up at Boss Hog because she wants just to hang out with you. Just to let you know, my wife Michelle, because they were hanging out at the Recteq Academy one time, and so she wants to make sure you're there so she can be there, hang out with you. So, listen, if y'all have never been to Boss Hog, it's an awesome contest. Seriously, it's one of the contests you truly you need to go to and experience. And I think Derek may actually cook it one day instead of trying to volunteer. I don't know, but if he doesn't. One other thing that we've done at the contest in Pinehurst, and we've been doing a lot more this year for the contests I've been to and stuff. And I'm encouraging anybody anywhere that's doing contests to organize it and do it. Do a potluck on Friday night. I mean, seriously, that right yonder. Just get it together and cook burgers or order pizza, but do a potluck together so everybody can just hang out and be part of the family. Because, like I said, the friendships you make in barbecue it's insane how great of friendships they are. Because the people is amazing. Truly, I think that's something that hopefully we can continue to do more of. And I know something's planned for Boss Hog, and I'm gonna try to figure out what we can do for Sevierville. If somebody's not already planning something other. I will say this though, doing a bunch of smash burgers and smash burger tacos, that was a lot of work in front of that little fire. That was flipping some stuff, man. I thought I worked at Waffle House for a little while there. I mean,
it was good, though, man. It was awesome. We had we just about all the team showed up, I believe. There's a lot of people there.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean, I think all but about 5 maybe showed up and they had other plans.
Yeah.
So everybody showed up. And that's the thing about it is we had these events, you're all invited. Because we were doing a contest in Pine Ridge Campground several years ago. And so we done pizzas. Were you there, Kenny? When we cooking the pizza?
No, I wasn't at that one.
So I'll say this though, it was a lot of fun, but pizzas for 30, 40 people, individual pizzas, they work your dang butt off. That was a job. And I had Brian Turner helping me and Brian Corbett was helping us, and we were putting that together, and we were seriously doing a lot of work with that. So Brian's watching this, so I just made me think about this.
Chicken recipe. All right. Who wants the chicken recipe?
Who wants a chicken recipe?
John.
Oh, flip me some shrimp. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Need DJ burgers. Yeah, talk with Joseph about that, Derek.
Yeah. Joseph does DJ burgers.
Thank y'all for coming to the Smash Burger Tacos. Oh, that's another video got out. If y'all ain't checked that out, check out the Smash Burger Tacos. They really are pretty good, and they easy to make some variations on that. Y'all got any sponsors y'all need to give a shout out to?
Go ahead, Kenny.
We got Atlanta Barbecue Store, Steak Princess, and Man Meat Barbecue. That's ours. We appreciate them. They do a lot for us.
Cool. Yeah, big thanks to Royal Oak and Atlanta Barbecue Store, Butcher Barbecue, Recteq. Yeah, they're all been tremendous. You know, it's awesome. I love repping for them, and it's great support.
Cool. Well, listen, we got a group of wonderful sponsors: Royal Oak, also Atlanta Barbecue Store. Also, if you're interested in getting anything related from Heath Riles, Snake River Farms, and Recteq, in the links down below, in the links down below in the description, you'll find all those links to all those affiliates and stuff. Check that out. Again, make sure you share this page even after the fact, and go on YouTube and also check it out there. We greatly appreciate that. We'll be on show next weekend, and we'll see you at Boss Hog in 2 weeks. And y'all will see everybody at Kannapolis. Go by there, shake their hands, tell them congratulations. They got their first GC. And see y'all next time. Appreciate y'all watching.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
See you, Mark.